Oh there, I did Cannibal films before, why not the next one? That being Mountain of the Cannibal Dods. Again under two titles, Saviour of the Dods and Mountain of the Cannibal Dods. Is that a funny one this? Because I would like to say this was more Hollywood. What do I mean by that? You've got two well-known movie stars. One of them being the Bonder, Ursa Ranzis. I remember talking about Ursa Ranzis before, and I figure why not again. As for Saviour of Dods, I have seen it and it is shittily fucking censored down. The bits where Ursa Ranzis shows her assets is not in the fucking film. But the one I've got, being Mountain of the Cannibal Dods, and again having the luxury of having the uncut version of the Mountain of the Cannibal Dods, you do see it all. Even before Ursa Ranzis was nice and she was hot in her heyday, you definitely like the Mountain of the Cannibal Dods because she shows her tits, she shows her ass, she shows her bust, she shows it all. But it starts off where Ursa Ranzis is looking for her husband, who's, a bit of an adventurer. Went to the jungle to look for gold. Her and her brother goes to search to meet a guy who helps them out, going into this tropical jungle. I like Mountain of Cannibal Dods, because unlike most cannibal films, this was more of a jungle adventure film. That again, I say it again, it's definitely more of a jungle and an adventure film. And it was nice to show it was proper shot in a proper jungle, like most of the cannibal films. Again, however, you get animal cruelty. Some sort like real wildlife footage, animals eating animals. This you see in a lot of wildlife programs. And again, some shot for shot value, especially when you see a guy skinning a lizard alive and eating its fucking heart. Definitely puts you off your food. Then it weren't very nice to watch. But, apart from that, it's not really a bad film. Most of the uncut version does show a scene with a pig. A pig. The less I talk about that, the happier you pig, and it is just a pretty naughty scene. But, it's not a bad film for what it is. It's your typical cannibal adventure film. It's an adventure film. They're looking for gold. And at first you think, halfway through the film, they go to this camp where they have these, religious sort of people. And they bump into this guy. I do actually like the guy because, he's a guy doesn't believe in harming animals. Bit wooden in parts, but he's okay. And again, they're looking for gold. You got one guy in it, he was fingered by the cannibals. There's cannibals in this, it's not your typical natives. There's a scene in it where the guy's having it away and a cannibal spears this poor woman. The people basically gone the fuck off because this has never happened before in their camp. And again, they're looking for gold on the fucking way. At first you think Ursa Ranzis is a nice person, but you find halfway through the film she's not. I do love the scene where a big snake is on her and the guy fights it off to save the girl, being Ursa Ranzis. And she does show a lot of nudity in this. She shows her tits, she shows her bust, she shows it fucking all. Then we went shy in this one, Ursa Ranzis. Again, they're looking for the gold, they're going through. It's pretty beautifully shot though, I've got to admit that. You got waterfalls, they really do good use of the jungle. There's even a scene in it where a guy accidentally walks in a jungle trap, gets speared. Bit good gruesome scene. Another guy gets his head cut off. Yeah, you can see now it's a mogul. If you look proper, it's a dummy where the head gets cut off. But like I said before, I choose that over shitty CGI any day. And again, it was a video nasty. Banned originally, but now you get to see it in its uncut form. It's kind of different to see Ursa Ranzis in a role like this, because most Italian cannibal films, as you know, were dubbed, and it didn't seem like she was dubbed. She was speaking in her own language. They go into the cave anyway, and that's what I mean. The brother of Ursaranzus and Ursaranzus herself are not that good. They use the excuse of her husband. Her husband did go missing, but they use that excuse to look for fucking gold. That's right, look for fucking gold. But there's an old saying, "Foo's gold," because the cannibals use that to get greedy people. What is gold to a fucking cannibal? And the tats are Ursaranzus, they kill a fucking brother, and the tats are them. They fucking tats are them. There's a bit in the film that again will put you off your fucking job, because when they killed the brother, that a graphic scene where they cut his stomach open, put his insides out. There's what you see his dummy effect now, but they cut his insides out and they're munching on his insides. There's also a nice bit with Ursaranzus is getting prated, because there's a scene in it where they think she's the wife of the god because her husband had this car garage out, and they stuck him up. They found her husband, they stuck him up and left his rotten corpse, so you know he's dead. They got his rotten corpse stuck on a mountain, and they got like she's supposed to be like the wife of the god, you know, the queen, let's say. Let's see if you're just a sort of bit of nudity, painting it all fucking red. You got this weird little cannibal which is tormenting the other guy a lot, the one who else they caught. And lo and behold, you got this one guy, cannibal, he's down to rape Ursaranzus. I shit you not, he's down to rape her. The cannibals get hold of him, you don't actually see it. It's not like the one I've talked about, you know, I spit on you Dave style. It's them out the same there. But they get this cannibal. The chief, I'm assuming it's the chief, isn't happy about it. Cuts his you-know-what off down below. Graphic, so you do actually see it get cut off. Good effect, but you do see it get cut off. It's like, oh, Denny doesn't fuck around in that apartment. And on the more uncut version, it's like a director's one, she does actually kill the chief, Ursaranzus, and she starts to do a one-off. There's a bit of porn in it here and there. There's a bit with a pig. Then let's talk about that. Which is definitely the uncut version. She's stuck there seeing her husband rotting away. And the guy is stuck down below this mountain. The little cannibal's tormenting him. The guy's basically just sort of fuck off, kicks him. And then he manages to get across the rope. The little cannibal is dead. Brains hanging out. He gets Ursaranzus to get the fuck out of there, almost, but there's a little bit of a silly ending where one cannibal jumps out of the water, die has enough, bashes his fucking head in, they get in this log of wood, they sail away, happy fucking ending. I do actually like the music in it. Is it that Jungle Adventure film? The only decent bits, again, is the animal cruelty, a guy getting his fucking doodah cut off, graphically sewn, the bit where they kill her brother and they're munching on his insides. I say that's really the nasty bits in it. All the bits what I just mentioned with effects, but again, the animal cruelty was sewn for fucking real. But if you get past the animal bits, it's not a bad film. I would say that this one was more of a jungle adventure film. As the films went on, they did get a bit more graphic and a bit more nastier. But I'll carry on with them as I go on with the cannibal films into them. What can I say? Not a bad one. So, a 10-star rating. It is more of a jungle adventure film into them. See you later.